Hey, Cutie Pies, it is Lanickia, and I am coming to you with another episode of The Young and the Restless. This is for 3/21/2022, Monday. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Also, if you're looking for a working at home job, don't forget to look at those videos. I'll leave the link in the description. Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give this one like maybe a 6. I don't know. I wasn't that really into it today. It was kind of slow. I like the characters that were on here. It was just a slow Monday maybe for me. So Billy is talking on his podcast. He finally has had a breakthrough, so he's able to speak on his podcast. So we find out that he's been doing his meditation that Tracy recommended for him. And so this is what has helped him break through with his being able to, go past his, I guess, writer's block, if you want to call that. And he just talks about his daughter, and, the loss of her, and then the love of finding Lily, who's helped him out. All of that has helped him to push forward and become more open. And he said meditation that, was a big part of what was able to breakthrough for him. I mean, that was Billy today. Later on, that was Billy's from what we saw today. So then we see that, excuse me. So then we see Jack has made it in with Phyllis, and he drops her off at her. I guess she's staying at like this. It was a hotel. It was like this cute hotel where Phyllis is staying and everything. And so Jack is, he's dropping her off, and he just thanks her again for helping him out. And she tells him the way she really wants to thank him is to actually help him is to deep dive into the text. But he's who was sending him the text messages. But he tells her no, he doesn't want to do that. So then we see Allie has come back to the house, and Allie is she's conflicted. So on one hand, she's like, she's lost her dad. That was her best friend. Her mom, she's not really that close to. So she's confused, and she wants to talk to someone about Jack. And she said, you're the person I would talk to, but you're not here. And I get it more why she feels the way she does, because she says, you cut him out of your life. And so it's on one hand, she kind of wants to get to know Jack and build some kind of relationship. But on another hand, she's like, but would I be betraying how you felt because you cut him out of your life and you didn't want him in your life, So how would that be if I, welcomed him in and, just tried to get to know him and everything? So she's just confused. And she goes to sleep at this house. It's their dad's house. So she goes to sleep. And we see someone is lurking over her. We don't know who it is. I'm assuming it's the texter. Who is the texter supposed to be? I'm going to have to research to look to see who that possibly could be on this that's doing that. Because I'm like, I know it ain't Chemo. It's not her mom. Who else could it possibly be? But we see that, just to wrap all these people up in this little storyline. So we see that Jack actually goes home, and he receives another text, and they told him, you left too soon. She wasn't ready yet. And he's like, oh. But then Tracy comes over. So when Tracy comes over, he just talks to her, updates her on everything that's going on. And she was glad that Phyllis was there and everything. And, he feels heartbroken that, he and Chemo didn't, make it up, and he wasn't able to reach out. And Tracy says, don't feel bad for that. Like, it's a two-way street or whatever. You had tried to reach out before and tried. And Chemo made it clear he didn't want you in his life. Unfortunately, y'all didn't get to patch it up, but at least you know how he felt, because one of the last letters Chemo said, a son will always need his father and everything. So, I mean, it is what it is on that part. But then we see that he leaves Tracy because he says he's too wound up and he's going to go for a drive and everything. And so he goes back to the hotel, and Phyllis is there. Now, she has just finished talking to Amanda. And she and Amanda talking. Amanda was like, oh, I'm sorry, because Amanda was kind of making light, like, oh, there was something romantic happened. And Phyllis just informed her that it was more to it than just like this romantic trip. It was like some heavy stuff going on. And Amanda was like, I'm sorry. And Phyllis was like, no, no, no. And she said, but I still think something's going on with you and Jack, and your relationship has changed. It went to a different level. Even if it's not romantic, your relationship has went to a deeper level. And she says, yeah, I feel that way too. So now Jack comes back and Phyllis is there and she meets with him. And he tells her, okay, I'm just happy that, you were there for me. And she says, you don't have to keep thanking me and everything. And then while he's talking to her, he gets another text from the mysterious texter. And the texter says, I'm going to do what I can to help. That's why I think whoever the texter is lurking around the house. Obviously, we know they know their way in because they left a picture of Allie. So it's got to be someone who's close to Chemo. Because it can't be Chemo. We know they said he's dead. Okay, so anyways, then we see, and that's how it wraps up with Phyllis and Jack and Allie and Tracy, because they're just like, he's going to give her time. He's just going to give Allie time. And I actually liked Allie's scene today, even though she did it by herself. She was the only person. Allie is a really great actress to me, because I was like, out of all these scenes today, I was like, that was the one that really caught my attention, and I was wanting to focus in and see, what more she had to add to the storyline. And it was it was a nice breakup, because I like Billy, but that was tough. I mean, I like Billy, but I don't know. It was a little bit on the boring side today for some of these people, but I was intrigued by that, and maybe that's what it was. So then we see that Devon is on the phone, and he's FaceTiming with Jill, and Jill just talks him into doing the business. She said Catherine and Neil would be so proud, and they would want to do it. They would look at it and they would say, yeah, let's merge it. Yeah, they would think about it, but they would merge it. So Devon calls Lily over. Lily comes over and she says, is everything good? And he's like, yeah, I just got off the phone with Jill. And she was like, I didn't tell Jill to do this. And he said, I know. No one makes Jill or tells Jill to do anything. And so Devon has agreed to do this business. Devon, I like you and all, but it's a little bit boring. It was just boring a little bit today. But I mean, I guess because we haven't seen it in 2 days. So I was like, okay, let's pick up with Nate, and everything. And then they play these people. And I'm like, what's going on? But I mean, you have to try to get everyone in storylines, I guess. But anyways, so we see Nate, so we see Devon, and he's talking to Lily, and he agrees to merge the company and everything, and she's ecstatic and she's excited. And then Amanda comes home, and he tells Amanda what he's decided to do, and she was a little apprehensive, but he lets her know that he and Lily, when they were talking, they decided, like, if anything goes wrong, like if the company starts to come between us, we'll both step down as CEOs of the companies or whatever, because our relationship is more important. But they both agree that they don't see anything coming between them. And so once Amanda hears this and everything, she's like, okay, but I don't know. She didn't seem that happy. But then she says, I'm excited for you and everything. And he's talking about Dominic and all of that. So then we see Lily goes home to Billy, and she tells him she's merged the companies, and he's really excited about that. And then he tells her about his podcast and how he mentioned her in it, and she was like, what? And he was like, no, it's all good. So then they show like him actually listening to the podcast, Tracy listening to the podcast, and just romantic moments between everyone, and that's pretty much how they go off. Oh, and then the mysterious texter did text Jack again, and they said don't lose hope. They're going to see what they can do to try to get Allie to come on over, because they feel like she really wants to reach out to Jack, so they're going to try to do everything they can to help Jack. And that was Young and Restless, guys. I can't believe I even made this 10 minutes, because it was a solid episode, but it wasn't like that It wasn't an intriguing episode where I was like, "Ooh, come hurry up and come back from a commercial break." It wasn't that. But I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Bye.